Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays with the occasional bonus live video. Make sure you hit that bell icon because that will let you know when I post a new video. And down below in the description is a link for my Facebook group. Make sure you want to join that because it's a lot of fun in there. We play games, we share our crafts, and there's going to be a lot of really cool exclusives coming for that group. Today we're going to talk about the difference in the Explore and the Maker to help you decide which machine might be best for you. Each machine does its own kind of different thing, and it's all about what you want to do with your crafts. So we have our Maker here, and then our Explore is on this side. The Explore comes in a ton of colors, from everything from black to hot pink to everything in between. You can get tons of great colors in this. This comes in a couple colors as well, but as you can see, it's mostly going to be white. But the top is where you're going to get most of your color. So if you're really wanting something super colorful, the Explore Air might be for you. This is an Explore Air too, but they do make an Explore Air. So one of the questions you want to ask yourself before you choose a machine is, what is your budget? Because you don't want to go over budget, and you can, as a crafter, we all know we can get some really cool stuff that we never use. So do keep your budget in mind. This one runs about $3.99, and this is the Maker, and this one's retail price is $2.99. Now keep in mind, you can get them on sale. They go on sale quite often on both the Cricut websites, on craft stores, and on Amazon, and I will link the Amazon links below for these because you can get great deals on these all the time. So keep that in mind. Budget is a great question. Another question you should ask yourself is, do you have the space for the machine? Again, the machines aren't super large, but they do take up quite a bit of space. You can see it's pretty big. It's not super wide, but you will need some space, and you will need space behind it. So you'll want to have a little bit of space to work with your machine. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're choosing your machines. Another thing to think about is, what kind of crafts do you want to do with your machine? Are you somebody who only wants to cut vinyl and paper and maybe the occasional felt? Fine. If you're somebody who's more into cutting out fabrics and woods and things, you'll need a different machine depending on what you want to cut out. So let's talk about the Explore Air 2 first, and then we'll go over to the Maker. So the Explore Air 2 is a really nice machine. Again, not super large, but really a good size. What I like about it is that it has a tool compartment right up here. I like to keep my pens up here. And this one has a dial on the top, which you can see the dial. And that is how you select your materials. And all the materials are on here. However, it's not that limiting. There is a little custom setting on your dial that you can change to, and it'll let you pick a ton of materials. So don't think that you're only limited to what is available on your dial. You're totally not. And I actually recommend keeping it on the custom setting all the time. That way you don't screw up like I have a million times and cut something on the wrong setting, and then it's a wasted project. It's a pain, and I hate it. Another thing that's really nice with your Explore is it has this little port up here. This little port right here is actually for cartridges, which cartridges were these plastic boxes, basically, that held images, just like Design Space has images now. You would buy the little cartridges and use those in your old style machines. This one you can directly link your cartridges by using the little cartridge slot. So that's really nice and convenient, especially if you're somebody who used a Cricut machine previous to these series. You have a little tool holder here, which is really nice. It's not super big, but it works. It holds the pens really well, or whatever tools you like to use a lot. And then you have several buttons over here. You have a power button, a load button, the go button, and a pause button. So just very similar to both machines, you have those buttons. This one does have an open button where it's going to open both the top and the bottom, and it's kind of just on like a spring mechanism. So it doesn't open super duper fast, but it opens really nicely, and it's slow. There are some more tool storage compartments down here in the base. You have a small one, which I use for blades and things, and then a little bit larger one, which you can use for pens or whatever you want, and these are magnetic, so they close really nicely. Another thing that's really great with the Explore Air machines, the 2 and the regular Explore Air, they have these dual compartments for your tools. So one compartment being the, I believe this one is A, let me double check that, nope, B, sorry. I'm reading it backwards, so it's hard for me to remember which one's which. But B holds your blades, and then A is for your pens or your scoring stylus. Now, the tools that you can use with your Explore are the fine point blade, the bonded fabric blade, the deep cut blade, the scoring stylus, and pens. This one does not have some of the other fancy tools that you can get, but it does work really, really well. I really like the machine. It's a great introductory machine, and especially, like I said, if you're going to be cutting things like vinyl and paper and things like that and bonded fabrics, this is a great machine. Now, one thing with this machine too that I really like is it does have a faster speed on it. So when you go to make it, you can choose the fast speed. So that the Explore Air machines also have built-in Bluetooth, which is super handy, meaning you don't have to have it connected to your computer or your cell phone or your iPad in order to cut with it. You can just have it plugged into your wall and you can be across the room and cut with it. That's a nice feature that the Explore Airs have. So that is your Explore Air machine. I hope that answered some questions on that one. So we'll move over to the Maker. Now the Maker, I'm going to slide this guy over. Let me close our Air. So to close your Air, you just lift up on the bottom and push down on the top. And we'll just slide this one over just a little bit, just so we can get a better look at our Maker. So the Maker, this one is a little bit heavier, and the top is made out of metal and not plastic, which is super nice. Retail value on this, again, is $3.99, but this one cuts a lot more things. So if you are somebody who's into fabrics, quilting, if you want to cut balsa wood, chipwood, basswood, this is your machine. This also has tool holders, but this one actually has a dual tool holder right at the top. And I think the back one's really nice and deep, but the front one's a little bit shallow, but they're really nice, handy to have. And they actually offer, I believe Jennifer Maker offers some SVGs that you can cut to make this into like a blade holder, which is really cool. I love that. I thought that was really creative. This one does not, however, have a port for your cartridges. But don't worry, it's not that you can't use them. You would just need to purchase an adapter, which I think are about $30, or you can call just the Cricut helpline and they'll help you load your images into your Design Space account, which is really, really nice. This machine also contains that Bluetooth, which is super helpful. Again, you don't have to be connected directly to it with your device, but you totally can be. One of the other things I love about this machine is that it has a port here, so you can actually charge your devices through your Maker. And once you open it, and this one you just open the top, and then the bottom opens up, but it has a slot up here at the top, and that slot is for your phone or your tablet, and it just makes it super easy and really convenient so you can work on it all in one little space if you're using a device. Again, like your Explore, it has the power button, the load, the go button, and then the pause button. This one does not have a dial. So on Design Space, when you're using a Maker, just like when you have the Explore on Custom, it'll bring up a list of your materials and you will choose it that way instead of having to set your dial. The Maker also has a ton of blades, and they claim they'll be coming out with some more blades. It's called the Adaptive Tool System, and it comes with a ton of different options. So your blades include a fine point blade, and I'm going to double check my notes. I want to make sure I list all the blades for you. So you have a fine point blade, a rotary blade. You have the scoring wheel and the double scoring wheel. You have an engraving blade, or tool as they call it, a debossing tool, the wavy tool, perforation, and a knife blade. So you get a bunch of different blade options with this, and the nice thing is that knife blade can be used to cut wood. You can get those pretty inexpensive off of Amazon. I will say I've pretty much found the prices to be the best on Amazon for all those tools. I will link my Amazon store below where you can find all the Maker tools that I use and love, and they have great, great prices. So I love that. This one also has the storage in the front, but instead of one door, it is or in two doors, it is just one. And it has a couple different slots. I don't know how well you guys can see them. They're kind of hard to see. But it has a couple different slots in it. And then this one also has the dual tool holder. So the one side is for your pens, and then the other side is for all of your blades. Super awesome. Love this machine. They're both great machines. The other thing with the Maker, and the reason that it can cut more materials, is that it is actually built with more pressure and force than the Explore. That's why this one can do a better job as far as cutting some of those thicker materials. So if you're somebody who's into cutting small pieces of wood and things like that, this would be the machine for you. The other reason that I like this machine too is that if you're into fabric, that rotary blade makes cutting fabric super easy. If you try to cut non-bonded fabric on your Explore machines, it really doesn't work. It jumps around, the fabric moves, the blade cannot handle it, where the rotary blade on this cuts absolutely beautifully. And it makes it super easy to cut out shapes and patterns if you're into sewing or decorating, things like that with fabrics. So again, before you decide to choose a machine, think about how much you want to spend on your machine, and think about the kinds of crafts that you would like to do, as well as the space you'll have to do them. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I am always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays with the occasional bonus live video. Be sure to join my group. We're always happy to have new friends. Hit the bell icon because that will let you know when I post a new video. I hope you guys had a wonderful time learning about the differences between your Explore and the Maker by Cricut. Have a great day and happy crafting!